Guys, something may have just slipped out from behind the closed doors of the production studio. A rumor has been gaining massive traction over the last 24 hours, and I genuinely wasn't expecting this specific detail to surface so soon. Word on the street and from a very reliable insider buzz is that the upcoming episodes airing between June 29th and July 10th are going to completely shatter everything we thought we knew about the current landscape of the show. A massive overarching plan orchestrated by WSB director Ross Cullum is about to be deployed, and its sole purpose is to serve as a giant, blinding distraction for the entire town of Port Charles. Right now, everyone assumes that Cassius Phazon is the ultimate big bad in this specific storyline. Most viewers believe that he is the malicious mastermind who cold-bloodedly stole his twin brother Nathan West's life, pulling the wool over everyone's eyes for his own sick, twisted amusement. The obvious explanation seems to be that Anna Devane is completely on the right track. We all see her aggressively investigating Cassius, putting the puzzle pieces together, and trying to convince Felicia Scorpio that the man she thinks is Nathan is actually a dangerous imposter. Everyone assumes that Anna's sharp instincts are going to save the day, and that once Cassius is officially exposed, the nightmare will finally end. We also assume that Jens Sidwell is just a rogue fugitive, running around Port Charles, causing chaos on his own terms, because he is a loose cannon. It all fits into a neat little box, doesn't it? It makes sense based on what they are showing us. But what if we are looking at this entirely the wrong way? What if the narrative they are feeding us is just another layer of the distraction? What if that wasn't the real reason for Cassius's presence at all? What if Cassius is nothing more than a desperate, manipulated pawn? The insider buzz suggests that Cassius was actually forced to play the role of Nathan against his will. He might be trapped, blackmailed, or psychologically manipulated into wearing his dead brother's face just to hide the true identity of the real mastermind orchestrating all these tragedies. If you ask me, this completely flips the script. While Anna Devane continues to blindly suspect Cassius and focuses all of her legendary investigative skills on taking him down, she might be unintentionally ignoring the real catastrophic threat. What if her obsession with exposing the imposter is exactly what the enemy wants? By keeping Anna deeply distracted with Cassius, Cullum and Sidwell are given the perfect, impenetrable smokescreen to finalize the absolute last phase of their dark conspiracy. Anna is basically chasing a ghost while the real demons are setting the town on fire. This alternative story paints Cassius not as a cold-blooded villain, but as a tragic figure caught in a web so thick he cannot breathe. And while everyone in Port Charles is looking at him, the real players are moving their final deadly pieces into position without anyone noticing. So, how does this actually play out on screen? The unconfirmed information floating around points to a few distinct possibilities that could fundamentally change how we view the history and the future of Port Charles. Let's break them down, because each one of these scenarios is more explosive than the last. That is one possibility, but another theory is that the truth about Marco Rios is about to blow up in Sonny Corinthos' face, thanks to a completely unexpected sequence of events. We know Nina Reeves is going to find herself in the right place at the right time to save Jack Brennan from a brutal assassination attempt. But what if, in the aftermath of that heroic rescue, Brennan drops a nuclear bombshell? Rumor has it that Brennan has been secretly investigating Ross Cullum for months, operating completely under the radar. What if Brennan holds undeniable, hard evidence proving that Marco did not die because of Sonny's orders? What if Cullum is the one who murdered Marco simply to silence him and cover up his own dirty tracks? If this is true, it means Sonny has been carrying the weight of a war he didn't start. And worse, it makes Sonny the ultimate target. Because if Sonny gets his hands on Brennan's evidence, he will be inches away from uncovering Cullum's entire operation. Cullum cannot afford to let Sonny live if he knows the truth. Now, let's look at a second possibility regarding the highly volatile Jen Sidwell. We know Sidwell is a fugitive on the run, and he is actively planning to attack Sonny. But what if Sonny, being the proactive mob boss he is, decides to hunt Sidwell first? The speculation is that Sonny tracks Sidwell down to a secluded, dangerous location, fully prepared to end the threat once and for all with his own hands. But instead of a traditional mob shootout, Sonny walks into something completely baffling. What if Sonny arrives just in time to witness Cassius brutally attacking Sidwell in secret? This would mean Cassius is not happily allied with Sidwell at all. Perhaps he is finally biting the hand that feeds him, fighting back against the people who forced him to become Nathan. Imagine Sonny Corinthos standing in the shadows, his jaw completely dropping as he watches the man he thought was a loyal WSB agent viciously taking down a highly dangerous fugitive. It changes the entire power dynamic and proves Cassius has his own desperate agenda. And then there is a third possibility, one that takes us away from the mob violence and straight into a deeply guarded, highly emotional family secret. I keep wondering whether Ethan Lovett's sudden return and his complicated connection to Ava Jerome is hiding something much darker than simple blackmail. What if Ethan's claim to be the biological father of baby Phoebe is a complete and utter lie? The behind-the-scenes possibility is that Ethan intentionally and falsely claimed paternity to protect the child. Protect her from what, you ask? From a highly dangerous, unseen force that is actively hunting down Phoebe's true bloodline. When Ethan finally breaks down and confesses this terrifying truth to Ava, it could change everything between them. Ava, realizing the immense danger this innocent child is in, might actually decide to side with Ethan. Imagine Ava Jerome and Ethan Lovett forming an unexpected, ironclad alliance to protect baby Phoebe before the deadly secret of her true parentage is exposed to the ruthless people hunting her. But guys, we have to talk about the most dangerous possibility of all. The one theory that is keeping me up at night and sending shockwaves through the rumor mill. As the walls close in, as Anna gets closer, and as Cullum's plan reaches its climax, the logical move for Cassius would be to run. To flee the country, disappear into the night, and never look back at Port Charles again. What if he doesn't? What if Cassius makes the heartbreaking, ultimately fatal decision to stay in Port Charles just to have one final emotional goodbye with James? This emotional anchor is his absolute undoing. The speculation is that Cassius goes to the batting cages to see the boy, fully knowing it is a massive risk, and ends up completely surrounded. Cody Bell steps in, the Port Charles Police Department arrives, and the flashing red and blue lights signal the end of the line. He is cornered. He is caught. There is no escape. But right before the handcuffs click, Cassius doesn't beg for mercy. Instead, he looks dead into the eyes of the police and drops a revelation that will haunt the audience long after the credits roll. What if Cassius reveals that neither Cullum nor Sidwell are the ones truly in charge of this massive conspiracy? What if he confesses that there is a mysterious, unnamed figure standing high above both of them? A phantom puppet master who has been orchestrating every single tragedy in Port Charles from the very beginning. A villain so powerful, so wealthy, and so terrifying that even a corrupt WSB director like Cullum is terrified of them. This would instantly open up a dark, unpredictable new chapter for the show, proving that the war is far from over. And while all of this high-stakes espionage, hidden identity drama, and mob violence is unfolding, there is also the grounded reality of Willow Kane's legal nightmare. The rumor mill suggests that Harrison Chase is finally going to clear Willow's name, systematically dismantling Brooklyn Quartermain's vindictive framing plot piece by piece. Brooklyn's House of Cards is going to completely collapse, altering the social landscape of Port Charles and fundamentally shifting the dynamics within the Quartermain family. But even as Willow finds her freedom and the truth about the hit and run comes to light, the shadow hanging over the town only grows darker. Chase might solve a local crime, but who is going to solve the mystery of the Phantom Boss? Is Cassius telling the truth about this mysterious higher-up, or is it just the desperate, calculated lie of a cornered imposter trying to buy himself time? There may be more going on here than we could ever possibly guess. Maybe Cassius is a tragic victim of circumstance. Maybe he is a monster who deserves everything coming to him. Maybe this mysterious overarching villain is someone we already know, hiding in plain sight among the citizens of Port Charles. I cannot confirm any of this, and neither can anyone else right now. But if you ask me, we are about to witness the biggest, most elaborate deception in the history of the show. Keep your eyes open, guys, because something tells me we haven't even seen the real threat yet.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.